And today, in the most spectacular embarrassment imaginable, it blew up in their faces. You see the special counsel, Republican appointee, leading the case against Hunter Biden, who was appointed by Donald Trump, now says that that guy, this informant they hung their entire claim on about the bribe, he lied. Their infamous FBI informant is being federally, criminally charged for making it all up.
I just have a question. James, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you humiliated? I mean, at what point did you think all this was not going to come crashing down? It's pretty sad and pathetic, and I actually feel pretty sorry for you. I mean, what the hell? Did you honestly believe that that FBI informant was somebody that was reliable and that was going to work with you all the way to the impeachment of President Joe Biden? I know this all started with your cult leader coming to you guys and saying, you know what? I don't want to be the only one impeached. What do we need to do to get Joe Biden impeached so he can be a part of my club so I don't look like such a loser? Don't worry, Mr. President. We got it covered. We're going to have an investigation and we're going to open up a panel. We've got a great witness and we're going to get him impeached. So you won't be the only one standing in this ridiculous idiot club. And President Joe Biden is going to be impeached with you. And we're going to do whatever it takes, the time it takes, whatever funds that it's required to make this all happen. We're going to do it in front of the cameras and everything's going to be amazing. You're going to come out looking oranger than ever.
The former FBI informant has been charged for lying about President Biden and Biden's son Hunter and their involvement in business dealings with the Ukrainian energy company Burisma. Now, the reason why this is significant is that this individual and his testimony was a major aspect of the claims by Republicans that President Biden himself had benefited from his son's business operation.
Did you think this was all going to work? Did you honestly believe this informant was going to just take you to the top? How totally embarrassing. I'm just still in shock and awe, and I use that term a lot because the Republican Party always makes me say it. The things and the extent that you guys will go to try to get something done, and it always ends up flopping. I mean, your party in the Congress is an embarrassment. From not being able to keep a Speaker of the House, to not getting along, to the crackpots you have on your side, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz. It's embarrassing. And then you try to pull off this stunt and it only comes crashing down and smacking you right in the face. How totally embarrassing.
Documented allegations of bribery from a trusted FBI confidential human source has now finally been released. Now, its contents are devastating.
Okay, I am sparing you the amount of Sean Hannity I could play you. For my sins, I watched about 30 minutes of monologues. But in his show, Fox host Sean Hannity alone promoted the claim of this single FBI informant no less than 85 times last year. 28 of those segments were monologues, very long monologues, in addition to all the breathless so-called reporting. And this is across the right-wing media. Hannity had House Oversight Committee chairman and chief Biden crime family investigator James Comer on as a guest 43 times in 2023. Today, James Comer and Sean Hannity's favorite informant, the smoking gun for their investigation, was arrested at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas. He was indicted on 2 counts of feeding the FBI false information about President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. According to that indictment, 43-year-old Alexander Smirnov's story about Burisma officials paying the Bidens millions, quote, was a fabrication, an amalgam of otherwise unremarkable business meetings and context.
And you have to stop and think, why did I say all that stuff? Because looking back at the interviews now on on Fox News, which they're probably going to get sued again. And I pray to the God above. And I know, Hunter Biden, you're not watching this right now, but however we can get a message to you, please sue Fox News. They still have not learned their lesson from the voting machines. They lost so much money on that. They fired some people and said, okay, we're all fixed now. And they went right back to be a part of this ridiculous clown show of an impeachment trial to try to get President Joe Biden impeached. They said a lot of things. They were a part of a lot of things that brought Hunter Biden down. He has every legal right to make claim that he is been damaged in all of this. And I hope, I pray that he does sue Fox News for billions. But what a joke this has all turned out to be. And it's truly embarrassing. Everything that you guys have done. It's not only embarrassing, it's maddening. It's maddening for the fact that you have wasted a lot of taxpayers' dollars. You have wasted a lot of time. You guys have accomplished nothing. And I don't know, it has been shown, and records have been shown, that you guys have done the least amount of work since the Cold War. You guys have an award on your shoulders now because you guys have accomplished nothing as your leadership in the U.S. Congress. You've accomplished nothing, absolutely zero, because you're doing these clown shows for your cult leader, that orange buffoon, Donald Trump. You did this stupid impeachment that you couldn't even get done for the first vote, and then everybody started threatening all the other congressmen on the Republican side. So they're right in order. Okay, we're going to vote the second time. We're going to make sure we don't get those death threats and get our house swatted. Holy macro, just unbelievable. It's really a disgusting clown show, and it just continues to be worse. And I don't understand why MAGA followers, the right-wing extreme followers, do not understand and see what exactly is going on here. It's a joke. It's right there, right in front of us, right before our very eyes. But the problem is the radical right media, Fox News, OAN, and all these other jokes, Newsmax, they're all there, a part of the conspiracy with this thing. And then this FBI, this FBI informant gets arrested for lying, for not telling the truth, for fibbing, giving you all this bogus fake information that you've been using in order to try to get Joe Biden impeached. Holy macro, it is... I wouldn't believe this if this was a movie. I'd come out of that movie theater thinking, man, that is so fake. Unbelievable. I would never believe something like this is happening. And you're making it happen. It's totally embarrassing. And what's incredible about this is every time you go on one of those right-wing radical news shows and you talk about this ridiculous thing, because you know it's not true and you knew it was going to come crashing in your face, you're always insulting liberal viewers. You call them the stupid, the ignorant liberal viewers on MSNBC, the uninformed, the uneducated liberal viewers. And here you are spewing off some kind of, I don't even know how much thought you put behind this, along with your other clowns that got together with this ridiculous investigation, how much time you put into it. But you got so far into it, I see some of these past interviews that you've done, and it becomes obvious you knew that this was not going to go anywhere. You knew you had no information. You knew this FBI informant was not reliable because you kind of sidestepped questions that were being asked. You know, because these news organizations, so-called right-wing news organizations, were trying to validate everything that you said. So they would ask you specific questions, but you would dance around it.
Have you found have you found evidence that anybody broke any laws?
Well, if if the president was involved in this, obviously he would have broken many laws, because we don't believe that China would have paid the Biden family millions and millions of dollars for nothing. We believe that China was more than likely getting something in return. The same could be said for Ukraine. With Burisma, the same could be said for some of these shady characters they were dealing with in Russia. So what we're trying to determine is if, in fact, Joe Biden made policy decisions and did things that were not in the best interest of the American people in order to enrich his family, then those are laws that are certainly broken.
James Comer Pyle. You are a joke. It didn't work. What's next? What I hope is next, I said, because, you followed up a couple of days ago and said, I've got more evidence. This is not over yet. We're going to continue with this until Joe Biden is impeached. Our great orange leader wants this to happen. But what I hope happens next, and I'm going to keep saying this, and I'm going to get it out as far as I can, and somehow, hopefully, it'll get to Hunter Biden. I beg that he files a major lawsuit, especially against Fox News, because they have not learned their lesson, and they got sucked right into this thing. They started coming up with their own evidence. They started coming up with their own information, just like they did with the voting machines, and they lost big. And now they're doing it again. I don't get it. I don't understand when you guys are finally going to get down to work and do something productive for the American people. There's a lot of things that need to be done. Yet you decide to make priorities like this because your great cult leader wants you to do these things. At what point are you guys going to understand everything that Donald Trump turns to is mold? Everything Donald Trump touches turns to mold. You guys had him gone back after the 2020 election, back after January 6th. He was out of your hair. But that ridiculous idiot, McCarthy, goes to the palace and kisses his ring and takes a picture with him, and then you hooked yourselves right back up to that moron. And now he's bringing you all down again. His priorities are not about the country. At what point are you guys going to learn that? His priorities are about him. He wants Joe Biden impeached. So he wants to waste American dollars, American taxpayer hard-earned dollars, to put together this sham of an investigation to try to get Joe Biden impeached. And I don't know what's up your sleeve next, because I'm sure you're at home right now looking up difficult words in the dictionary to try to sound smart, since you have to constantly try to prove somehow that you're smarter than liberal viewers. So you're trying to figure out how to get your ridiculous idiot face out of this mess that you created, along with the other buffoons that you're working with. So I know you're coming up with some more evidence. You're going to try to figure something else out, since you tried to save face after this all exploded to say, I've got more evidence. More evidence is coming. But whatever happens next, I wish you would say, you know what, we need to start focusing on bills to help the American people, to really do something about the border. Let's do something about getting money in people's pockets. Let's do something about the economy. Let's do something about this and that, schools, homeless, gun control, something, anything that the American people has paid us to do. Instead of putting on these sideshow carnival clown shows to make you guys look like bigger buffoons than you already are. At what point are you going to realize this is not working? You guys have done absolutely nothing. Nada, zilch, zip. And how much time do you think the American people are going to give you? The clock is ticking. November is coming. Voting is happening. MAGA, the MAGA morons are not going to save you. Of course, they're going to be on your side no matter what, but they are not the majority of the United States. So I'm telling you and talking to you, Mr. Comer Pyle, from one centrist moderate to an idiot, you're not going to win based on your MAGA voters. Because centrists, moderates, Democrats, a lot of independents, they're tired of this. They're ready for change. They're ready to get things done. They're ready for people to work across the aisle. They're ready for bills to be passed. They're ready for things to happen. And right now, it's not.